And probably a fun fact on me is that I
You
like to
don't?
read. Like I like to read. That's a lost art nowadays. Oh, my great uncle is Jesse Owens. He won 4 gold medals in 1936.
Yeah. I always want to leave people with this, man, to all the viewers and everybody out there, man. Make sure you guys finish your story. Make sure you guys finish your journey because somebody's going to need it.
Yeah. All you gotta do is push the bad button. That's all you gotta do. Push the dice.
Try not to think about the future too much, so you can maximize the now.
Who's your favorite rap artist?
Man, to be honest, it's crazy. Tupac always been my number one, right? Like he got me through so much stuff, but Lil Wayne has been in the modern day.
I said, what does it really take? What does it really take to be great, Drew? And he looked at me and he was like, you really want to know? And he was like, to be honest, everything you did to get here, you need to be consistent times 10.
What's up? What's up? How everybody out there doing tonight? It's Wednesday night, and welcome to the Nothing But Basketball Show. It's your boy, Coach Lee. Man, we back at it like we're mad at it. Happy hump day to everybody that's out there. It's time to run one with you guys. With that being said, what's up to my brother up there in the Northeast? What's up, too?
What's good? What's good? Hope everybody's getting to it middle of the week. Week's almost over. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Basketball night. Your squad playing my squad. Don't get no better than that.
Yeah, we wasn't supposed to be friends, man. I didn't check the schedule, or we would have had Uncle here. But it's all love in here, man. Both teams, I could tolerate Dallas a little bit. So, there you go.
Man, y'all the mighty Lakers, man. We trying to get where y'all at.
You gotta remember, man, 4-0. I can remember that vividly, man. I can remember, Bonham, giving JJ Barea the vicious elbow from the south. And the Mavericks, man, you know what I'm saying? They was able to achieve greatness.
It was just a magical year, man. That was a magical year.
True Warrior story, man. Indeed.
So, tonight, you know how we do it around. We talk nothing but basketball on Wednesday nights. Got a couple of great topics from our team that put it together for us tonight. Shout out to you know who. Appreciate you.
Let's get it, man.
So first one tonight, as far as our topics, because we don't want to get flagged, we gonna call this the bed watch.
Yes, bed watching.
That's the bed watch, man. So, here we go. Let me see what we got up going on around these here parts.
NBA.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Okay. So, this is in reference to there's an uptick of the vid. NFL's getting hit with it. NBA's getting hit with it. But NBA is kind of like, we know it's here. We know Omicron is stateside. And we expect there to be an uptick in cases to continue through the holiday season, Christmas, New Year's, Kwanzaa, and so on. So team executives and the health officials around the NBA, they're just saying, we got to find a way to try to obviously pay attention to the health, safety, and protocols, but it is what it is, and we really can't afford to lose any games or anything like that. So they are in anticipation of having to deal with this. Now, 97% of the league, I believe, is vaccinated, which is interesting. I think that might be the only league where it wasn't a mandatory thing for them. But 97% of the league is vaccinated. So what is your outcome with that? Because obviously, the Lakers got a lot of people in, championship run season. How's it going to impact y'all?
Yeah, man. I mean, like you hit it on first, man. The holiday season, Thanksgiving, and then after Thanksgiving, you started seeing it and hearing, say more cases. And of course, during the holiday season, with traveling and stuff like that, cases go up. These athletes, they travel a lot. For the sake of it is, how do you approach this? Now, leagues are saying that they're going to go, rapidly with tests, you know what I'm saying? Possibly, you know what I'm saying? Extending, going more than, for instance, the NFL, 10 days they have to overturn, you know what I'm saying, in order to come back to play. They're gonna extend that and probably go more days with that, which can haunt teams, you know what I'm saying, in this situation, especially the NBA right now, where everybody says you should start the NBA in December. If the NBA started in December, they wouldn't be dealing with this problem. So we've seen what the NBA's done with this before. Of course, what every sport did with it, you provided a bubble. I can possibly see, not regular season, I could possibly see a bubble setting when the time is right, if this is an ongoing thing, because games are starting to get canceled. The Chicago Bulls had to cancel 2 of their games this week, postponed into later in the season. And overall, it's just, of course, the product, the league, people pay tickets to see these athletes. And now with these cases going around, and like you said, 97% of the league is vaccinated. A lot of questions to be asked, a lot of questions to be answered.
Facts. Now, up until Monday, we're through Monday, there's approximately about 200 players who already gotten their booster shots. Now, they said obviously they expect it to increase throughout the days, but they imposed a December 17th deadline for those players who are eligible to get their booster shots. For those who are eligible that don't receive the booster, they got to go through some harsher protocols, which could include, will include game day testing. So that kind of makes sense. Now,
that definitely makes sense.
It does. Now, they can't, kudos to them, and it was not really kudos, but it's common sense. They said that they were told weeks ago that during the holiday season, there's going to be a spike. But you got more people traveling from different areas around the country. So that kind of makes sense. But they said to expect some pretty worrisome numbers, though. But the biggest concern is, I'm not going to say which one, but there's a particular shot that goes by 2 letters. That's the third choice. But those people, for those, it's about, the booster for that is about 6 months out. So it's kind of hard, because you can kind of plan it by ear. It can run rampant through your locker room. A lot of different variables going on there.
Yes, lots of different things going on, lots of different names, like, man, coming around, saying from booster shots now, like you said, every couple months, something new comes out, you know what I'm saying, and involves that this is still something in the process of, in their eyes, being something 100%, not 100%, 99 point something percent chance that this stuff's going to work. And we know in government and the business stance, they're going to go hard on it. Right. They're gonna make sure everybody under their umbrella is vaccinated, and able to, saying, of course, help them, because the athletes, they help each other, but you need the athletes out there, saying, to generate the bread.
So, before we finish on this topic, there's one more thing that I want to point out. I know you definitely have some input on it. Now, as far as the restrictions that they do have in place, now the NBA and the NBPA, they're kind of both in agreement with this, but you got to think about, out of the 4 major sports, football, basketball, hockey, baseball, NBA is probably at the most risk, because football, they're outside generally. They got on pads. Baseball, there's not too much interaction with one another until you're on the bases. And then hockey, everybody's got on gear and things like that. But basketball, it's just shorts, jersey, and they hugging on each other in the post, and a lot of sweat transpiring, as you say.
A lot of sweat, a lot of touching, you know what I'm saying? A lot of bumping, hacking, all that stuff, man. And then it comes to, you got to realize too, the fans, this can come down. This can go a lot of different ways. You know what I'm saying? Though a lot of arenas have not even the NBA. A lot of arenas in the NBA don't have the full vaccination card you need. You know, some arenas you can have a negative test. Like I did, Celtics, for instance, the Boston Celtics. You know, you can if you're over 12, you need a vaccination card or you need a negative COVID. Well, I heard today via YouTube that it's not that rule. It's that you need a full vaccination card to get in. On the Celtics website, it states COVID card, have the COVID booster shots or a negative COVID test within 14 days or something like that. So that is funny. So it's interesting to see what goes down with other cities, that might enforce the law and the rule now that you have to be vaccinated to go into these games as a spectator.
This is true. But we going to definitely look. We starting the basketball season for me really don't take off until like around February.
Yeah, I'm more of a Christmas, New Year's person. Because the NFL's down in their playoff situation and Super Bowl, like you said, February. Football is clear about over, and then of course you got the the competitiveness that's going to continue into the NBA playoffs. So yeah, it's a perfect time to start watching, especially if your team have hopes already of being in the playoffs potentially. You just want to see what seed they get in. February is not a bad time to start.
Not at all. All right, brother. Time for take a first break for the night. We gonna be back. What they say around these here pots? About 15 to 20. Be back shortly.
Hey guys, it's your girl Tamara Moore, former WNBA guard and current head coach at Mesabi Range College. I want to give a big shout out to STWF Media, the big brand, for showing love and always being about those good sports. Make sure you guys show them love. You and your community can join them every week to talk about sports. Shouts out to them and make sure you check them out.
Yes, sir. Bruh, I don't know about you last night, but there was a lot of excitement.
Whole lot
on the East Coast last night. And this one, as everybody knows, Steph Curry broke the all-time NBA three-point made record that was set by Ray Allen. So he is now the GOAT of all time from behind the arc. So, as Marv Albert used to say, from downtown. So it was a little bit of what they call it around these here parts, man. Is it celebration time?
Yeah. They had a whole lot of celebration, man. Parents and family members. Mind you, his parents are divorced. Look at the pictures on the internet to see what both of them were doing last night. Shout out to Dell. Dell said, I'm going to drip this all in. My son's the guy that got the record, and I played in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Steph Curry, man. He definitely, 2,974 and counting as he was in the Mecca yesterday, Madison Square Garden yesterday, where he did achieve high greatness, breaking the all-time record that was broken by Ray Allen, who was held by Reggie Miller. He broke it in 2011. 10 years later, Steph Curry breaks it. Amazing achievement. This guy came into the league, as we know from watching him, a shooter. And a lot of people, when he came in the league, may have thought that he can exceed this, figuring that his father, the late homie, he ain't dead, sorry about that, but the late man, the old G, Del Curry, was a high man 3-point shooter himself, so it runs in the family. But you add that with a couple All-Stars, a couple championships, MVP, you get greatness. But the question here, in between the 3-point champion, man, is his greatness overall. you know, in the stat line of greatness. Now we see Reggie Miller, obviously great 3-point shooter. You know, he's a great in his mind, but you know, then there's tiers and levels. He may be in the lower tier. Ray Allen, another 3-point specialist guy, he might be in the middle tier below. Steph's trending up. And that's where the story and the debate gets kind of interesting. Interesting question right here. Do you think when LeBron retires, Curry's gonna break LeBron's scoring record, and will this make him the GOAT? I'll answer your question, and appreciate you commenting. I don't think Steph will break LeBron's scoring record. I don't think he'll break that. But being a 3-point specialist yourself and having the achievements and accolades and being the player you are right now, Steph, you have opened up a brand new box of discussion. We know LeBron has ran basketball for a long, wild time, and there's been people in between that steps on his territory. But the person who violates that territory the most is Waddell Stephen Curry. He does. So when I think about these two guys in the level of, you know, we're not gonna pit them on LeBron's level, but just the fact that he stepped on his turf and got some good mud on his boots shows that even when you have greats in the game, there's still guys that bring it competitively, or there's even great talents. And Steph's one of these guys that changed the game. The 3-point shot's crazy now. Averaged literally 10, probably 12 threes a game taken, you know? And now teams in the first quarter are taking 23s. You know what I'm saying? The offenses and defenses ran through, you know what I'm saying, predicated on how Steph Curry, you know, plays basketball. So when you talk about greatness, that ladder, that might be something that's highly discussed at the end of his career.
I would agree with that. So LeBron is what right now? He's third all time, I think, in scoring.
Yeah, LeBron's third all time in scoring. LeBron's gonna catch Kareem.
Yeah,
he's gonna catch Kareem. I honestly, it would be. I would say I would be shocked if Steph even came that close, like there. Like, that would be crazy. Yeah. So I hope I answered the question in the best way I could.
You know, let's see, points all time. Steph got a ways to go, man.
Yeah. You gotta wait. And that's the thing about it. And that's the glory of the 3-point shot, because it's in its own category. Like the 3-point shots all, you know, was been invented, but we just feel like the next best shooter is literally the next best shooter. So the question is, who is the next best shooter? Are we gonna see him while we're here? It's gonna be in our kids' generation or their kids' generation. That's the question, because he's still in the league. And he's going to shoot that 3 until he leaves. So if he can clip at least 4,000, that record may not be touched.
You know, I'm just looking. Well, this is regular season, all time. But Steph got a lot of playoff points. I think he would definitely he's gonna pass the likes of, like, you know, the Dirks, the Will Chamberlains, Moses. No, he got a little bit. He got plenty of time for that, because it don't look like he's slowing down at all right now.
Nah, it's not slowing down. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that he predicates, and I'm not gonna. He's obviously proven his offensive giftedness. But that 3 balls, the money. That's the bread and butter. I don't see him being number 1 all time in scoring. I don't see him being that. I can see him, you know what I'm saying, along, you know, when you have that list, he's at a very reasonable spot. But 3-point king is great for him, you know what I'm saying? And he's achieving a lot more than just that, even before he got the record. Anthony says Booker. I don't think Booker is. The potential guys right now in line to even come close, active players right now, James Harden, he has the potential to pass Reggie and Ray and possibly Dame Lillard.
Dang,
I
okay.
feel like Dame Lillard makes that switch East Coast. The way that he shoots the basketball, possibly him. 1 second. So, shout out to Steph Curry, man. That's history right now. He's gonna have a lot more people going to the gym, going to the shoot threes, just like him. I want to be like Steph.
Where is Steph at? All time. He's like what, 19,000 points or something like that?
Hold on, let's see where Steph is. Steph all the time.
And if he's not at that, he's not even top 50 right now.
Right.
Bernard King is at rank. He's at number 50 at 19,655 points.
Yep, he's at 19,159, which would clear him. I don't even know what that statistic is.
I know he's ninth active as far as active players right now.
Yeah, he definitely not active, but it's gonna take a lot. I mean, he's not that. He can go on when he needs to, but he's not that type of. He doesn't want to be that type of player. He goes out there and he just is going out there with the win. You know what I'm saying? You know, not relying on that technique. Just going out there and just embracing the game. He's been doing it since he was a young kid.
Right.
When we seen him in college in the NCAA tournament do that, it was just like, you know, those numbers come up in a minute. You just don't want to be the defender or the team on a basketball court when it's happening in your face. And he did it in New York City.
Mecca.
He did it in New York, where you're going to get the utmost respect from the fan bases and the crowd. And the crowd was ready for that. You know what I'm saying? The crowd was ready for him to get that. And for him, just keep latching on that record, continue to hit shots, and make sure nobody else breaks that.
Yeah, I think, and especially when they get back to 100% from a health perspective, and he get his Splash brother with him, it's gonna open up the floor even more for him.
Yes, open up the floor for him. Open up the floor for Malai. You know he's gonna try to feed Clay. He's gonna try to feed Clay. You know what I'm saying? So Clay can get some numbers on the. And, you know, Clay's going to come back and, you know, hopefully drain some down too. And Clay, after his career, can be somewhere, you know what I'm saying, along that line on the list, man. Top 10, top 12, 15.
Two quick things before we go to commercial break. And definitely, I want you to add your portion to it. Back to the original question, do we think he's going to pass LeBron? Obviously, collectively, we said no. But just to put it in perspective for you, we said Clay's is just, he's at 19,000 points. LeBron's got 35,000 points.
LeBron's got 30. A lot of motor being played. You got to remember, even that Curry was out. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron, like you can't compare. You can't compare them. You can't compare them. And now we're gonna go into the position ranks and all that. But what you can say is, man, it's legacies. Legacies. Right. Those guys are in the same. They are in the same convention with each other. When the wine's being sipped and all these guys at the end of their careers are there, Steph Curry was able to step on turf, steal a nice, pretty white suit, and crash the party.
No doubts, no doubts. And the last part, I said it was two parts. Steph's played 13 seasons, and up until now, 789 games to get the 2,977 three-pointers made. The gentleman he just passed, who was at 2,973, 18 seasons, 1,300 games played. That's why they're so impressive, man.
It is. And like the amount of shots that's chucked up nowadays. But it's the amount of shots that he hit. That's why I'm never surprised in a basketball game when you see the stat line and everybody's going crazy like, oh, Steph hit 7, 8, 9 threes. I'm not excited with that. And it's not even to be a hater. That's not
It's a
surprising.
game now.
That's Curry being Curry tonight. 3 or 4 is when the shooter in the game hits 3 or 4 threes, he's getting that slap in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Curry like. Curry like is like 5 or 6, and if he catches fire like that, 10, 11, woo! The only thing for him left to do is hit just about every 3 he hits in the game. Miss nothing. Miss no threes in the game. If he does that, that'll probably be the only thing I'll be excited about. And he hits a few dozen. You know, hit a dozen. A dozen to 15. I'll sit there and be like, you gotta shoot perfect going to court for me, I guess, Steph, man. You've done a lot, you know what I'm saying, to make me a believer. You made me a believer a long time ago.
But man, well, we're gonna take our second break for tonight. We be back in what they say about 15 to 30.
Yes, sir. Get your waters.
Yes, sir.
What's up, world? Kyrie Robinson, man. New Orleans Saints veteran. Hey, man, make sure you guys go check out my guy, man, STWF, the media, man. Check them guys out. Y'all want to get sports talks with players, with fans, anything like that, man, go check them guys out, man. That's the place to be if you want to talk sports. Who that nation?
Whew. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, riding out, man. Thanks to everybody tuning in. Back at it, man. Got another interesting topic here. This is our last topic of the night, correct?
Yes, sir.
Then we got a little side hill as we go off. We'll talk about. But and our last topic, of course, you know, who can't be a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers? You know, who can't be a fan of a prestige franchise? You know what I'm saying? That's ruled the world since just about everybody's been born on average in this world. But also, what comes with, you know, being a Lakers fan is the expectations. Expectations this season have been through the roof, but the expectation that's been going through the roof has not exceeded expectations, as my Lakers are right now still filling the hotel rooms. And that comes with rumor mills. So the interesting trend on the rumor mill is potentially a trade within an organization. Name ringing up is Russell Westbrook, who, in my eyes, has steadily improved game by game as the season's progressed. But Russell is on a rumor mill trading block, as we should say, along with AD, but this is more particularly about Westbrook. So I'm going to ask you a question, Corey. You as a Lakers GM right now, and you're seeing what you're seeing, would Westbrook be one of those guys that you want to dish and move?
You know, yes. And the reason being is even when the trade occurred, you know, some people, oh, they get Russ. He's going back home, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, he gonna be able to mesh with El Boogie like that, man. He can play off ball, speaking of James, but we all know when it's crunch time and it's time to close the game out, more than likely, the ball's gonna be in his hand to not necessarily take the last shot, but to facilitate the offense. And Russ's whole career, that's always been his role. So I was always curious at what point in time was Russ going to do, because we all knew that obviously LeBron is probably a stronger personality on the floor as a leader than Durant. But we all knew that when he was in OKC, Durant tried to bring him in, but Russ is going to do Russ. He don't care who it was, who you thought you were, but if he feel like he's going to win the game and he need to take over, that's what he's going to do. And just like most great athletes, at some point in time when they get older, they're not sure of. Usually, the fans and the media sees when Father Time is starting to win before the player, because the player is going to be initially they're not probably not going to be honest with themselves, and I don't think necessarily he's done, but I don't think he's that same explosive player that he's always been. And I don't think it's a good match for LA, to be honest. So if I was a GM, he would definitely be trade bait for me right now.
Like that, like that, like that. As we know, Russ, comes with a lot of baggage. On the basketball court, we're not even going to talk about the off the court things that he does in and out, good and nice. You know what I'm saying, for the community itself. Me personally, man, we grown men in the grown man game. I mean, you can sit here and say something doesn't work, but ultimately, you gotta dug it out. I think simply is more than Russell. We kind of thought that this can be some type of good core, and it's probably not the best core around these three. But we know in the past that, you know what I'm saying, besides Russell playing in OKC with Durant, Harden, possibly LeBron playing with the Heat. I mean, you can say that Lakers 2020 team was good, and AD playing with the Pelicans. They really, really haven't had superstar teams. And then any team LeBron's on, the construction of it. You know what I'm saying? Top heavy, bottom looking like Louis Anderson. So what the Lakers got to do now is try to go get one more piece to stick. And that can trickle down the roster and, kind of, lapse in the amount of players you have. But that's the best possible thing that I would say to do right now. And I would not trade either one of those guys, AD, LeBron, or Russell Westbrook. I wouldn't trade them. I'm not going to give up on it, you know what I'm saying, because I'm a Lakers fan, and I was one of the people from day one that said once this happened that this can work. So I'm going to stick and stay on my shield, and I'm going to say that some way, somehow, we're going to get through this situation. And it's early in the season right now. It's early in the season right now. A lot of these young teams earlier jumping the gun, and they are playing impressive. Shout out to the Warriors. Shout out to the defending Western Conference champs, Phoenix Suns. Shout out to them. Shout out to the way they're playing. You know what I'm saying? Setting the ball high for the Western Conference. But when I just come down to it, you got to play 7 games. The Suns beat us in 6 last year, but we didn't have AD for the live. AD stays healthy. I don't think nobody can beat the Lakers. A 7-game series is so different from just playing a 1-game set, where you don't possibly play a team for another 2 months, sometimes 2 weeks. Hey, you might play them on a back-to-back, but that's more than likely. That's less than likely. The Lakers just gotta just continue to build, and I mean, find some identity, and those three got to start rolling at one point together. I think they.
I'm looking at his stats a little closer. He's actually, other than obviously the points, I think he's just out of his normal role.
Yeah.
His points for his career, he averages 23, and he's at 19 now. But his rebounds are up. His assists are about the same. Field goal percentage is up. Field goal 3-point percentage is up. Free throws are down almost 10%. That's huge right there. That's his average right there.
And that comes with the play that we know Russ is. But the play he's not being. And I don't know if it's still trying to find the woman zone. But at some point, it's like Mac Jones in the Patriot uniform. There's going to be times where you're just going to have to let that battery out and just let him go without a battery. And see how it can go, because this guy is the young guy that you bought in because of the legs of your 2 other stars. And we see LeBron right now, 30 damn near 37 years old, over the last 6-7 games, pitting in work. He can't do that all season. They're gonna have to just tame this. And LeBron at some point this season, and we don't really see LeBron do this. He's done it with guys like Dwayne Wade, you know, but I can see LeBron, if fitted, if we somewhat get it right, him deferring to Russ a bit. If we can turn something up, you know what I'm saying? We have to be able to pull up. We need a win streak here, man. We need some type of positive flowing win streak. I don't care if it's 3 games in a row against the worst team in the league.
You know, it's interesting that you had mentioned that as far as about him kind of deferring to Russ. That's kind of what he did with D Wade.
Right.
And once he did that and he picked and chose his points, I think that's when, to me, that's when LeBron became the leader and the player that he is today. Once he identified, I ain't got to put it on my back. I need to pick and choose when I take over a game. But at the same time, and sometimes a lot of people knock him for it, he tries to get his teammates involved. So they don't, because when he needs to go to them, they'll be ready because they've been in key points throughout the game versus like Carlisle did my boy KP. Whereas he didn't in the whole game, then when the game on the line or it's crunch time, you want him to take the big shot. He cold.
Cold, you can't do it. Absolutely.
And as we know, in the NBA or any basketball player, when you own your own, and that goal looks like a swimming pool. But if you got that rhythm and it's falling. But if you off, it's like that, man. That ball not going in there.
Sinking. Ain't gonna be a good night for you afterwards.
So I might have misspoken a little bit. I still don't see the fit, but I'm not as close to them as you are, so I haven't watched them in the game as you have. But I'm hoping they do their thing. It could be also because you got to remember they got a lot of who's who of talent.
They got a lot of. Charles Barkley says he got the old geezers. Got them old guys over there. There's a lot of old guys over there, man. A lot of guys that I feel like they just wanted to make happy.
Yeah. And I think as the season progresses, guys going to start finding their role. And we're still in the first quarter of the season. I'm sorry, I think we're going to the second quarter here shortly. But everybody's starting to find their role. And the dust will settle. And then you start seeing people, you know, certain nights, certain matchups, and they have a better chemistry with one another. But right now, I think they're still trying to figure some things out. But hopefully, by the time they get it figured out, it ain't time for Mr. Glass to show up again. But that's another story.
Please not. Please don't. Please don't.
Man, so we going to see. So who you got tonight for shout-outs, brother?
I want to give a shout-out. Basketball shout-out. I want to give a shout-out to the man that went from Henny to 4.0 anything, man. J.R. Smith, man. You know, went back to school last year. You know, pursue a degree. He tweeted the other day that he didn't think he was going to get a 4.0. He said he was preparing himself already for the second term. And then his reports came out and he got a 4.0. So shout out to J.R. Smith, man. Doesn't matter how much Henny you drink in your life. This should be a lesson to all people that you can change. You can make change. You can be the change, man. This is a guy that real young was able to get an NBA contract, be a first-round draft pick, you know, and live to finally blossom through the NBA and win the championship. Around. You know what I'm saying? Be involved in some, you know, very comical things in the NBA. And overall, you know, he was a guy that, you know, went out there and it was J.R. Smith, man, put the ball in the hoop. You know, and as he got older, he had to deal with a lot of things, but that never stopped him or anybody for having him on their rosters, particularly, you know, LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? You got somebody that depends on you or wants you like him in his stature, yeah, okay in the book. Shout out to JR. Keep pumping, man. Keep doing your thing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how you're 30s-year-old freshman playing golf, too, mentioned. He's a golf player.
That's true.
So JR, man, might be an All-American this year. My prediction is JR will be an All-American.
It's
See,
amazing how that works out the second time when you go back to school. You know, when you're younger, you worry about keg stands and kicking it, versus when you're older, you're able to comprehend things a lot faster. So,
right. A lot of things come to a lot of things start hitting reality, like, like, damn, maybe I do need some type of schooling, you know what I'm saying, or some type of, you know what I'm saying, program, to enhance me,
no doubt. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to Fran for allowing us to continue to do this. Shout out to my man Anthony. Appreciate you joining us tonight, sir. The comments you provided. Everybody else, make sure you hang out with your boys, like, comment, subscribe, interact, get in the group, share all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. Don't forget, man, you know what I'm saying? Was it January 16th, 2022 is our annual MLK, MLK Day, you know what I'm saying? We support, you know what I'm saying, homeless all around town, man. So if you're interested in getting your city into the loop, email sportstalkwithfriends@gmail.com. Or you can get in contact with me, Coach Lee, or Uncle Leroy, William, anybody. If you're in the group, you know what I'm saying, get in touch with the admins and our moderators. You know what I'm saying? Let's build on this, man, as we go into the new year. It's better to give than receive. So if you don't know the motto, learn the motto right now, because it's very, very valuable.
We appreciate y'all as always. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate you hanging out with the boys. Peace.
Peace out.